Good morning, all of you. Today we will discuss about the M slit. In the previous classes in Fraunhofer diffraction, we discussed about due to the single slit, how the intensity is distributed in the single slit experiment. And the second one is Fraunhofer diffraction due to double slit. It means there is two slits. What happens if there are N slits? So now we will discuss about Fraunhofer diffraction due to M slit. This is also called grating. This is also called grating. We have an experiment on grating. Of course, we will discuss here plane diffraction or plane transmission grating. So what is this grating or what is M slits? What happens then? A light is incident on the diffraction grating. So there is grating is nothing but it is the combination of N slits. It is a combination of N slits. For example, like this. This is one slit. This is another slit. This is another slit. This is another slit. This is another slit, and etc. There are capital N slits we have. Of course, in olden days, firstly Fraunhofer prepared this grating by using strings, by kept at equal distances. Different strings are kept at different places at equal spaces, and that system is used as grating. Nowadays, what is doing is on the transparent material, just like glass. On the glass, by using diamond point, they are drawing number of lines. They are drawing number of lines. Where they draw the line is opaque to the light, and with the space between two lines is transparent. So when the light is incident on that material, where the lines are drawn by the diamond, it transfer. The light is passing through the glass. Where the transparent place is transparent, and where the light is drawn, that is opaque. It is nothing but the light does not pass through the lines. So this is called diffraction grating. Of course, this is called plane transmission grating because the light is transmitted through the glass plate. Of course, some of the areas are using reflection grating. What is reflection grating? On the mirrors. Maybe it is plane mirror or maybe concave mirror. They will draw lines by using the diamond point. So that is also act as a diffraction grating. Now we will discuss plane transmission grating. It is nothing but when a transparent glass plate is there. When on the transparent glass plate, when the light is incident normally on it, then what happens on the screen? So this is the M slits. As usual, what we discussed in the previous class, that the width of each slit is taken as a small e. The opaque distance between two slits is taken as a small d. So E is the width of the slit and D is the distance between two slits. Of course, opaque distance between two slits. Then the centers of the two slits is equal to how much? That is E plus D. Am I right? Already we discussed in the double slit experiment. This E plus D is called grating element. This is called grating element. When now we are discussing Fraunhofer diffraction, it is nothing but the wavefront is plane wavefront. Plane wavefront is nothing but when these rays incident on the screen, that of course it is maybe taken as X, Y or maybe A, B, is incident normally on the slits. So when these rays incident on this slit, N slit, there is, according to the Huygens principle, every point on the slit will act as a source to the secondary wavelets. So all these rays at this point will make going along this direction, along this direction, along this direction. and maybe along this direction, along this direction, along this direction. In all slits, the rays, secondary waves will move in all directions according to the Huygens principles. Of course, these secondary waves, when passing along the direction of the incident ray, will incident on the convex lens. Then what happens? All these rays concentrated at the center of the lens, of course, center of the screen, at a point P naught, where the intensity is maximum. Intensity is maximum. So that this is called principal maximum. So bright band or bright film we will observe on the P naught place. But always all the rays does not move along the direction of the incident rays. All the rays will, secondary waves will diffracted with some angle. As usual, what we discussed in the double slit experiment, the ray is diffracted at an angle theta. All these rays will be concentrated on a screen at some place that may be taken as P1. Our aim is to calculate the intensity at point P1. It may be bright or may be dark, bands occurs depending on the phase difference of the rays which is passing through the slits. Am I right? Now, what is the phase difference? What is the resultant amplitude? What is the resultant intensity? To be determined ourselves. So, as we discussed in the previous question, that to determine the phase difference between those two, we draw a normal here. If the angle of diffraction is theta, this angle is also theta. If this is A, this is something B, if this is C, BC is the path difference between two consecutive rays, which is passing through the two consecutive sets. How much that is? BC is equal to E plus D sin theta. Am I right? Because sin theta is equal to opposite BC by hypotenuse KB, but we know AB is equal to E plus D, that is grating element. So that BC is equal to E plus D into sin theta, that is called path difference. Now what is the phase difference? We know phase difference, that is taken as D, that is equal to that is path 2 pi by lambda into path difference. Already we discussed in the previous class. Am I right? This is the phase difference between two consecutive rays which is passing through the two consecutive sets. Of course, this is what we have taken as 2 beta in the previous class. Now, now, what is the resultant amplitude of all these waves? That is what we require. There is n slits, there is n waves are passing or n vibrations are passing. Very first we discussed that there is resultant amplitude due to the n vibrations. How much that is? R is equal to A sin n d by 2 by sin d by 2. Very first question of this chapter. Where A is the amplitude to the single vibration, D is the phase difference between two consecutive vibrations. In this case, A is the amplitude, that is equal to capital A, or maybe that is A is equal to the amplitude due to the single slit, that is equal to A sin alpha by alpha. Am I right? And what is this D? D is equal to this is 2 pi by lambda into E plus D into sin theta. That is the phase difference between two consecutive vibrations or two consecutive slits. That is equal to may be taken as 2 beta. Now the resultant amplitude due to the n slits R is equal to A, that is A sin alpha by alpha into sin n, that is equal to area and small n vibrations we have taken, there is capital N slits we have. So in this case, small n is equal to capital N. There is number of vibrations is equal to number of slits. That is equal to capital N into D. D is equal to 2 beta. That is 2 beta by 2. That is beta by sine beta. That is the resultant amplitude due to the n vibrations. Now, what is the intensity? That is intensity I is equal to square of the amplitude. That is equal to a square sine square alpha by alpha square into sine square n beta by sine square beta. That is the required equation of the resultant intensity due to the n slits. That is, of course, plane transmission gradient. By using this equation, we will analyze how the intensity is distributed on the screen. How many terms are there? There is 2 terms are there. In this case, the first term is a sin alpha by alpha, and the second term is sin n beta by sin beta. The first term a sin alpha by alpha represents the diffraction due to single slit. And what about this sin square n beta by sin square beta? That represents the resultant intensity due to the n vibrations. This gives the resultant intensity due to the n vibrations or n slits. That is to be determined. Because already we know 2 times we analyzed how the intensity is distributed to the single slit A sin alpha by alpha. There is principal maxima, minimum intensities, and the maximum intensity, secondary maxima already discussed. Now we will discuss about the second term, how the intensity is distributed by using this sin square and beta by sin square beta term. There are also principal maxima, minimum intensities, and secondary maxima. Firstly, we will discuss about the principal maxima. What is this principal maxima? Principal maxima is nothing but the intensity is maximum. Maxima is nothing but the intensity is maximum. Intensity is maximum is nothing but this term to be maximum. If sin beta is minimum, that is may be taken as if sin beta is equal to 0. Sin beta is equal to 0. The total value is maximum. So that the intensity is maximum. That is called principal maximum. So we are discussing only about the sin square or sin square and beta by sin beta term we are discussing only. If sin and beta is equal to 0, it means denominator is very minimum, then the intensity is maximum, that is equal to principal maximum. If sin beta is equal to 0 is nothing but beta is equal to how much? 0. Sin 0 is equal to 0. And sin pi 0, sin 2 pi 0, sin 3 pi 0, and so on. Sin n pi is also 0. So that beta is equal to n pi. Of course, it may be taken as plus or minus n pi, whatever it is. But what is the value of pi beta? That is pi into e plus d into sin theta by lambda. We know, already we discussed previous. So that we pi cancel, that is e plus d into sin theta is equal to plus or minus n lambda. This is the condition for maximum intensities. This is the condition for maximum intensities. It is simple. And what about second one? Minimum intensities. How? Minimum intensities. So next one. This is a right side, that is a plus d into sin theta is equal to plus or minus n lambda. This is the condition for maximum intensity. Next, case 2 is minimum intensities. Case 2 is minimum intensities. Minimum intensity is nothing but in this principle, that is the sin n beta by sin beta. If denominator numerator is 0, if this is 0, then what happens? The total intensity is 0, that is minimum intensity position. But one case is sin beta is not equal to 0. Sin beta is not equal to 0 because sin beta is equal to 0 is the condition for principal maximum. So sin n beta is equal to 0 is nothing but n beta is equal to how much? As usual, sin 0 is 0, pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi, and so on and pi. For all these values, sin value is 0. So that n beta is equal to plus or minus n pi. So capital N into what is the beta value? Pi into e plus d into sin theta by lambda is equal to plus or minus n pi. By cancel. So that capital N into e plus d into sin theta is equal to plus or minus n lambda. This is the condition for minimum intensities. So what is the values of n? N, of course, 0, no problem. 1, no problem. 2, 3, 4, and so on, n minus 1. What about n? If a small n is equal to capital N, then what happens? This capital N and this capital N cancel each other. Then e plus d into sin theta is equal to lambda. If n is equal to 1, then what happens? Same as equal. So, if small n is equal to capital N, this is the condition for principal maxima. Am I right? Because up to 0 to n minus 1, there is no problem. If small n is equal to capital N, that is the condition for principal maxima. So, there is no 1. So, that n plus 1 next, okay. N plus 1 is the condition for minimum intensity, and n plus 2, n plus 3, and so on up to 2n minus 1. Next 2n minus 1, next one is 2n. If small n is equal to 2n, then what happens? N cancel. Then there is 2 lambda. 2 lambda is the condition for principal maxima. So there is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, n minus 1, n plus 1, n plus 2, n plus 3, and so on to n minus 1, 2n plus 1 next one. 2n plus 2 and so on. It is nothing but, in this case, there is no, of course, 0 is not available. That is 0, n, 2n, 3n, 4n are not allowed in this equation. These are the conditions for principal maxima. So how many minimum intensities are there? There is n minus 1 minimum intensities are there between two principal maxima. In this case also, n plus 1 to 2n minus 1, 1, 2, 3, n minus 1. There is one principal maxima, there is one principal maxima, there is in between to n minus 1 minimum intensities are there. So this is the condition for minimum intensity. How does that say? That is capital N into E plus D into sin theta is equal to plus or minus n lambda. This is the condition for minimum intensities. And third one is secondary maxima. Secondary maximum. What is this secondary maximum? Where this is also intensity is maximum. Maxima is nothing but intensity is maximum. That is called secondary maxima. So in this case, the intensity is maximum is nothing but this term goes to maximum. Am I right? That is sin square n beta by sin square beta is equal to maximum. Of course, we have taken this one also. That is a square into sin square alpha by alpha square is equal to maximum. This is of course I. Intensity's maximum is nothing but di by d beta is equal to how much? Because we are taking about the second term. Intensity's maximum is nothing but the differentiation of intensity is 0. Differentiation of intensity is 0. Of course, this is constant. Am I right? This is constant. Of course, this when we have taken this term, that is differentiation of this, that is d by d beta of a square sin square alpha by alpha square into sin square n beta by sin square beta is equal to 0. Now, we know it is alpha is not depending on beta, that is a square sin square alpha by alpha square is constant. Differentiation of this, that is 2 into sin n beta by sin beta, that is like x square, that is 2x into differentiation of the sin n beta by sin beta, that is like u by v method. Am I right? What is the formula for d of u by v? V u dash minus u v dash by v square. That is v. What is v? Sin n beta is v. This is capital N. Sin n beta is sin beta is v. Into differentiation of sin n beta, that is n cos n beta. Sin n beta is cos n beta. There is n is already there, n cos n beta. Minus, what is u? Sin n beta into, what is v dash? Differentiation of sin beta, that is cos beta, that's good. By v square, that is a sin square beta, that is equal to 0. Of course, when these terms goes outside is going to 0, then what happens? Sin beta n cos n beta minus sin n beta cos beta, that is equal to 0. Remaining terms goes to there. Now, sin beta n cos n beta is equal to sin n beta cos theta. Then sin beta by cos beta coming this side, there is already n, is equal to sin n beta by there is cos n beta. So n sin beta by cos beta, tan beta is equal to